When I came to Jesus, I began to question a whole lot of things and ask him, and he would tell me, those are not my people. This church, that church. These people, those people. And I mean, flood my brain with deep, deep things in the spirit. Deep, deep, deep things in the spirit. Showing me, explaining to me, understandings, download. These people. And these are these soft people. Typically. In the majority. Who love the idea of Jesus. In the mind. They love the idea of love your neighbor as yourself. Not that they love their neighbor. No, they're expecting their neighbor to love them. They love the idea of do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Now, they don't really do that, but they just expect everyone else to. I understood that there are a bunch of people running their mouth, but nothing in them is real. Does this make sense? I'm just trying to tell you the flat facts of the matter, which is there are people out here who think that they're down with Jesus, but when it comes time to do the business, where were you at? The Lord said, cut your family members off that are in sin. Why are you still sitting there? Because it's either apparently you're fake, you don't love the Lord, you just run your mouth with his name attached to it. Or you just blatantly are fooled and deceived so bad that you don't know up from down. When the Lord told you to have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, you're still sitting there at the table with your friends who are in darkness. Darkness means sin. Why are you still sitting there? Some of you were told to cut that job off because it's full of filthy, sinful things, vexing you, grieving the Holy Spirit. You're still at the job because you operate out of fear and or the love of money. Because of that paycheck, because of your house and home and the status you have in society, in your community, you could never leave that job and obey Jesus because Jesus would make you look bad in front of your peers. You're fake. If you're not going to do the business, you're fake. How many of you ever had to hammer something? When you pick up a hammer, have you ever seen a hammer that wouldn't hit the nail? It was afraid to hit that nail. What good is that hammer? No good. I mean, every time you went to hit it, it would bend over like a noodle. And I kept saying, I'm a hammer, but every time you pick it up and went to swing it at that nail, that thing bent over like a noodle. That's a worthless tool, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Every one of you Christians who claim the name of Christ, who are not about the business, you're worse than that. You won't stand up for Jesus. You don't stand up for righteousness. No, you mix and mingle with the world. You're friends of the world. You still sin. You claim that we all still sin. You deny his power. You literally are just spitting in his face and then causing perversion to go through the earth into other people's ears and minds to distort their comprehension of salvation, and therefore you're going to pay for all the above. All of it. If you're not willing to forsake everything on this earth, you can't serve the king. Jesus told you so. If you're not willing to forsake all things, you cannot be his disciple. If you love mother, father, sister, brother, children, or possessions more than Jesus, you're not fit to be his disciple. That's what he said. If you're not willing to lose mother, father, sister, brother, children, possessions, you're not fit to be his disciple. Some of you would say, I'd never lose my family. I would never. My Jesus would never have me do that. Well, you're correct. Your Jesus is fake. You have built to yourself a fake version of Jesus and then coddled that fictitious man-made version of Christ. And that's who you're chained to. What do they call it? It said in a lot of days they no longer receive sound doctrine, but because of their own lust, they'd heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they will turn their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto what? Fables, fairy tale doctrines, fairy tale Jesus.